What if I told you the biggest thing keeping most middle-class Americans stuck isn't their job, their salary, or even the economy's the invisible habits they've normalized? Stay with me, because today we're breaking that cycle. Picture this. You're 28, maybe 35, grinding a solid job $60,000. $8 okay, even $100,000 a year. You've got the apartment or the starter house, the car payment, maybe a kid or two. Netflix, gym membership, weekend takeout. On paper, you're winning. You're middle class. But every month, the checking account hovers just above zero. Vacations. Maybe one a year if you charge it. Retirement. You're putting in 6% to the 401k match and calling it good. Building real wealth, multiple streams, financial freedom. The kind where money works for you feels like a distant dream for someone else. You're not broke, you're not failing. You're just stuck. And the worst part? You see friends or people online who started in the same spot, same degree, same city, and now they're traveling, investing, quitting jobs they hate. What do they know that you don't? The truth is brutal, but simple. Most middle-class Americans never get rich because they play defense with money instead of offense. They protect what they have instead of building more. They trade time for dollars and a job, spend to feel comfortable, and invest only what's left over, anything. Lifestyle inflation eats every raise. Debt feels normal. And worst of all, they believe rich is about luck or a big salary, not choices repeated daily. If that hits close to home, you're not alone. But here's the good news. The gap between middle class and wealthy is unintelligence or connections, mindset and systems. Let's look at people who are exactly where you are and changed everything. Story 1. Take Henry Ford. Born to a Michigan farming family, solid middle-class work ethic, but no silver spoon. He worked as an engineer at Edison Illuminating Company, decent paycheck, stable life. But he had this obsession with horseless carriages. He quit his job and launched his first company, the Detroit Automobile Company. In 1899, it failed spectacularly. Poor design, high costs, only 20 cars sold. Investors lost faith. The company folded in 1901. Ford was broke, reputation damaged. Back to square one in his 30s. Most people would have gone back to the safe engineering gig and said, "Cars aren't for me." Ford didn't. He learned the hard lessons: simplify the product, cut costs, focus on what the average person could afford. He started again with new backers, iterated relentlessly, and in 1903 launched Ford Motor Company. By 1908, the Model T changed everything: affordable, reliable, mass-produced. He revolutionized industry and became one of the richest men alive. Lesson: failure isn't the end of data. Ford treated bankruptcy as tuition. Actionable tip: when something flops, a side hustle, investment, job switch, write down 3 things you learned and 1 small pivot you can make tomorrow. Don't quit. Refine. Story 2. Walt Disney grew up in a typical middle-class Missouri family. His dad ran a newspaper route. Strict but hardworking. Walt started small. Newspaper delivery, cartoon sketches. He moved to California, started Lofogram Studio in 1921. It went bankrupt in 1923 after bad deals and not enough revenue. Walt lost everything. Even his apartment. He slept in the office and ate dog food to survive. At 22, he could have given up on animation. Instead, he packed up, moved to Hollywood with nothing but a suitcase and a dream, and started Disney Brothers Studio with his brother Roy. Oswald, the lucky rabbit, got stolen by his distributor. Painful, but he created Mickey Mouse on the train ride home from that betrayal. Steamboat Willie in 1928 exploded. Snow White in 1937 was a massive risk called Disney's folly, but it made millions. He built an empire because he refused to let one failure define him. Lesson: protect the vision, not the ego. When someone steals your idea or a project tanks, channel the energy into the next version. Actionable tip: build a failure file every setback. Note what hurt and what you'd do differently. Review it quarterly. It turns pain into power. Story 3. James Altucher isn't a household name like Ford or Disney, but his story hits closer to home for most of us. In the 2000s, he built a business around websites and sold it for millions during the dot-com boom. He was living the dream: big house, investments, middle to upper-class life. Then the 2008 crash hit. He lost it all. Businesses tanked, investments wiped out, divorced, depressed. He hit rock bottom, couch surfing, suicidal thoughts. Most would have settled back into a safe corporate job. James reinvented himself. He started writing honestly about his failures on a blog. Built an audience, wrote books, invested smarter, especially in skills and side projects, and focused on multiple income streams: podcasts, newsletters, angel investing. Today, he's a multimillionaire again, financially free, and helps others do the same. Lesson: wealth isn't one big win. It's surviving losses and stacking small bets. He learned to never tie identity to net worth. Actionable tip: start a second income experiment this month, something small. Low-risk freelance skill, digital product, rental side hustle. Aim for $500 month extra within 90 days. Compound it. These aren't rare fairy tales. Look at the patterns. Studies show only about 51% of Americans are middle class now, down from 61% in 1971 Pew Research. Why do so many stay stuck? Financial experts like Dave Ramsey point out the rich treat money differently. They pay attention. The middle class often does good enough. Max, the company match, may be a Roth IRA, but no aggressive investing. Common traps: lifestyle creep. Every raise goes to a bigger car, nicer house, more subscriptions. Trading time for money instead of building assets, real estate, businesses, stocks. Debt normalizations, student loans, credit cards. Car notes become just life. Comfort over growth, staying in the safe job instead of risking calculated moves. But data also shows mobility is possible. People who invest 15 to 20% of income consistently, start side hustles, and avoid bad debt often jump classes. Millionaires are boring. They live below their means, invest early, and own businesses or assets. The difference? They decided rich was a choice, not luck. Here's the truth: you're not destined to stay middle class. The people who break out aren't superhuman. They're just unwilling to accept good enough forever. They fail forward, protect their vision, stack small wins, and treat every dollar like a soldier in their army. You don't need a viral idea or inheritance. You need consistency, curiosity, and courage to act even when it's uncomfortable. Start small today. Track your spending for 30 days. Launch that side project you've been thinking about. Read one finance book this month. The life where money isn't a constant stressor, where you have options, freedom, impact that's available. Not tomorrow, maybe not next year. But with the right choices stacked over time, it's inevitable. You've got more power than you think. Go use it.